Hello, hello, hello. Why is there... I cannot see anything on the screen. Let me see if... okay, it's working. There we go. Took a little bit of fiddling, but there we are. Hey, everybody, we are sort of doing this little diorama that I started a long time ago. Hey Rugai, hey Tamás Tóth, welcome to the stream. I just want to, so now what we're gonna do is a little bit of weathering. This can actually be merged down. Yep, there we go. Last time we sort of finished this basement sort of area, and now I want to do a little bit of more weathering like this here on the building. So I was thinking we can take away the plaster here and there. Let me see. Oh Jesus. I do have a connection error here. Okay, now it's back. Yeah, that's the right layer. I had to find the right layer. Okay, so just cleaning up a little bit. And as I said, a couple of areas where the plaster can be slightly removed. Something like that. And then of course we have to check our perspective. You need to add some cute anime girls. Where should I add the cute anime girls, Ru? There we go. Something like this, I guess. And then let's see where. Something. So I just want to add some bricky sort of textures here. Hey, hola, Efrain. There we go. Let me see how that looks. And this might be a bit too thick, so we're gonna take away from this. We don't need it to be so thick, so just leave that line there. And just reinforce those bricks a little bit. Could be probably a little bit. Let me make these bricks thinner. Not the biggest fan how thick they are. It's a little bit of trial and error. For that I'm just gonna make a new layer because there we go. I already like the thickness of these quite a bit more. Add a street cat. Stray cat. Now let's see. Because I thought I would leave it free of inhabitants. Like slightly abandoned. So it would be a question of, yeah, what happened there? Why is it abandoned? Let's take away these lines a little bit. And then I can zoom out. And I feel like they might be still big, but at least they work much better as bricks than what we had before. Those were definitely too thick. By the way, as per usual, if you have questions regarding drawing, or if you have some interesting things that you would like me to draw, especially anime girls, because you guys know I love drawing anime girls and I love them every stream, so keep on asking. Hey Bogdan. We're early to... No, it's... Well, yeah, okay, fair. During summer, I set it back to 9 o'clock because the sun was always hitting my screen. But now that summer days are getting a little bit shorter, I set it back to the normal 8:30, just because I like the 8:30. It seems like a pretty good time for me. Fair warning, I am a little bit low energy, so we visited Harlem today. The girlfriend had a presentation there, and I tagged along. I took a day off today just to chill a bit. It was quite nice, but we also walked quite a bit. I have 18, almost 19,000 steps, and that is 11 kilometers walked. And the sun, well, not so sun, but for some reason I'm just tired. So that could be that I'm a little bit lower on energy. So if you guys have some fun ideas that we could draw, I am totally up for that, to bring a bit more pep into the stream. Otherwise, I'm also fine with just chilling and drawing our diorama, whatever you want to call it. We should draw. I wanted to draw a couple of things here. Yeah. So what we need, in my opinion, is sort of a railing there as well, because we don't want people to fall off. What could we put there? I'm just gonna put a similar railing that we have here. Let me just draw one in very roughly. Let's see, working on their tans on the balcony. They already worked, they are gone. The sun is gone, so they had to leave, sadly. But they were there, they really enjoyed working on their tans, I must say. Can you help me with a glance of Sockbird's face? What? Oh! I forgot about Sockbird. Thank you for reminding me of that. Let's bring him into the picture. Something like this. There he is. Perfect. And also, can I get a screen grab of it? I mean, you can get a screen grab of it. What's your pen board? I don't know, Ice Robot. What is a pen board? You sort of got me there. I have no idea what a pen board is. I would love to answer that question, but I'm a little bit out of my depth there. Draw a plate of Maltaschen on the balcony to make you I think I will. They would be too small, mate. I mean, I can do that. Let's see. Let it add here. Actually, I haven't seen Maltaschen in a long time, so I just want to have a quick reference on it to be sure that I'm drawing it correctly. There we go. Oh, and these are very different looking Maltaschen than how I know it. So basically we have two giant ravioli. Could it be a bit smaller? Yes, it probably could. Something like that. And then we have a spoon there. There we go. I'll work that out in a second. I thought, let me just add. There was something tied there, and now it's not anymore. There we go. Rugai, you know me. Cars, tanks, airplanes, spaceships, and cute anime girls. Well, we got most of it in there. I liked your video when you drew people. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. Usually I don't really draw people because it's just not my strength. And I don't want you guys to necessarily take my bad habits of how I draw people. But I thought, hey, I'll just share the way that I approach that. I also chuckle when I see the board. What board? Dennis Bilas, hi, you're awesome, thanks for your sharing. Thank you for the kind words, Dennis. I appreciate that. And yeah, I like sharing whatever little knowledge I have. It's always fun. It is always fun. Bogdan, okay, thank you. Watch out, Sugbird. Efrain, do you like salsa music? I like salsa music as much as I like any other music. I'm not a big music person. When I was younger, I was very much into hip hop, and I still like hip hop, but I just don't listen to music as often as other people. Like when I'm working, I rather listen to podcasts or some YouTube videos in the background. And when I'm outside, I just don't want anything in my ear. That's actually something that I was thinking about making a video about, because I feel it to be much more valuable to just be in touch with all the noises that you hear outside, rather than have something in your ear constantly and listen to something. You should be able to just hear the things that are going on around you. There's a lot more positive things coming out of that. Okay, so this one will go away. Oh, this is gonna be a little bit tricky. Let's use the lasso tool. There we go. And this one goes away as well, like that. The walking plank, my bad, not board. Okay, let's see what the question was then again. Because now I know what they meant. Let me see where this question was. I also chuckled when I see the board. Ah, I see, yeah. Bogdan's plank, yeah, I forgot about that. Manav, could you make a small sketch explaining how to do highlights and shadows in a digital sketch? Well, you need color for highlights and shadows. Give me 1 second. Let me finish this plate of soup, and then we'll get right on it. Let me make this a bit smaller here for the bottom. So this is sort of like a German ravioli soup. No one is gonna know what this is, but it's fine, because Matze Bob and me, we will know exactly what's going on here, and that's the important part. There we go. Okay, I can merge. Oh, not there. I can merge it here. Okay, let's save this. Okay, let's see. Manav, could you make a small sketch explaining how to highlight and shadows? Yeah, let's make a new layer for that and do it over here. And we're going to keep it very simple. This is going to be our square, and usually you have people like me who are right-handed. We usually put a light source coming from this direction, which means this side of the box is going to be lit, so there's going to be light here, which means this side of the box going to be in shadow. So we can start with just taking a lasso tool and filling in our box, and I'm just gonna roughly do the shape. Okay, then I take my fill tool. Let's choose a color. That's an ugly ass color, so let's choose a less ugly ass color. This is a less ugly ass color. We can work with this. Okay. Usually what I also like to do, I lock this, and then I go to a soft brush. In Photoshop, I like to use a gradient, but this works as well. So I'm gonna use my soft brush, and work this way. So I'm gonna push hard there, and I'm gonna let go, and I'm gonna press less and less and less as I go that way. In the meantime, welcome Manuel. Tomasz Toth, if my design teacher would like to share their knowledge as you do, well, they should. That's why they're teachers, no? Okay, back to this one. So I'm taking my my soft brush, making it slightly bigger, and I'm just gonna push slightly and less as I go that way, as I go towards the upper left corner, and I push a bit more. Oh no, Sockbird went away. I push a bit more on this side, and a bit more, and then we can go also a little bit darker. So I'm gonna pull down a little bit, adding more saturation, something like that. So this is just the general, because the light comes from there. Now we can take the selection tool, and I'm just gonna select the upper area of our box, and I'm gonna go back to my brush tool, pick the lightest area, and go even a little bit lighter. And I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna press hard on the left side and let go as I come towards the right side. And this is the upper, upper, this is the upside of our upside. What's correct? The top of our box. And now I'm gonna do something similar with the bottom, but I'm gonna probably go less bright. So I'm gonna pick this light color, just a little bit lighter, and then press there a little bit as well, but not so much. Maybe just a little bit closer to that. That should be about enough. Now, what I like to do, there's usually a highlight here. So I pick this light color. I go a little bit lighter as well, and this is where so we have our lines layer. Let me call this lines. You can call this colors. And above our lines layer, you make a new layer. You take your pencil or brush or whatever, and I like to give it like an edge. Let me take this one. This is a bit harder. So a white edge like that, not bright enough, so I go even brighter. And I just make sure that I highlight these three edges, because this is where most of the light is hitting. Of course, this will pop more if your background, let me come down here, if your background is a little bit darker, and I'm gonna add the blue one as well, just so it pops a bit more. There we go. If you want to have some fun, of course, you can also add a little bit of cross-hatching, just to make it a bit more sketchy, graphic-y looking. And then what you can do, depending on if you want industrial design type of sketching. Oh, what happened? Why is this twice? Huh? I just duplicated it? Okay, I duplicated that, so then we don't need that one. All right. So this is our lines. What I'm going to do now, let's take a short break. Let's see if you guys commented anything. Mumble. Welcome, Mumble. Bogdan Micha, I also have a question. When you guys say that you got Clip Studio Paint at a promotional price, is that 1 year payment, or is that a one pay and monthly plan? It's just one time pay and no more, that's it. Exactly. Okay, so back to this one, I'm gonna erase this shadow area. So you can do two things, as I said. One thing that you can do is do sort of an industrial design trickery. That is, you just make your thing float. Actually, let me move it a little bit. You just make it there, and something like this. Oh no, actually what I did in the beginning was nicer. So you just lift it up from the ground, which means we just make this dark sort of shape, and you fill this with black, and then you sort of have a floating little box. And this is a lot what you do with products, just because I said this several times before, you have a nice little contrast. Whenever you have a big black surface like that and something to it, then you have this nice contrast, and then it pops up. Of course, something else that you could do is you just do a shadow layer, and since the light is coming from our top left, we are going to draw the box and the shadow pointing towards that area. Let me see. Let me just cut that off. Usually, let me do this. Let me construct a shadow because it's easier if you construct it. I wanted to do it without construction. It would come something like this. There we go. Actually, let me make it a little bit less tilted because this seems a bit more natural to me. Yeah, there we go. And this one now, here we can fill, we can take our selection tool and just make sure that we press shift, otherwise we won't select anything. And there we go. Like that. Now we can go to a gradient, we have black, and we press it more where it's closer to our box. So I'm gonna press it a bit more there, and as we come away from our box, I release it a bit more and more. So something like this, and then I deselect now, and that is sort of the shadow. And because the shadow is so dark, I feel like I could come back here, lock this, yeah, and then just come into this, come back to this side, and make it a bit darker. So we switch back to our brush, select this. I'm gonna go darker and maybe push it towards the red a bit, just a bit. And now I can come back a bit, make maybe my brush a bit smaller, and make sure that this becomes a bit darker. There we go, that fits better with the shadow. So this is the sort of the lighting that I apply to everything, regardless if I draw robots or cars or whatever. So if I draw a quick robot here, let's do sort of an Optimus type robot. Something like that. And I'm not gonna color him, but I just felt like drawing an Optimus. There we go. There's a like semi-half. I'm too lazy to finish Optimus. I'm gonna use the same technique. So everything that's bright, this is going to be where my light hits, right? And then the other sides are all gonna be in shadow. So this is gonna be shadow, 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 shadow. And then you can have transitions where you're on the face side, and the same will work for a car, of course, as well, which I'm gonna draw the most atrocious car that humanity has ever seen. Something like that. You don't have to worry too much about it, but the same thing. If we go to a light one, like I'm gonna have a lot of bright areas here where the light hits it, and then I can have much more shadows in these areas. So pretty much same idea. A. Smith Dang Art. How to give highlights to curves. I face problems when rendering organic surfaces. Well, then the idea is instead, like, use the same thing, but then you have sort of this idea, right? And let me do 2 examples here. Let's fill these. We go around there. We go around there. Let's fill it with, let's say, this color. And then the same here. There we go. And let's fill it with that color. And let's lock it down again. Now I'm gonna come back here and draw this out again. So usually what you, wrong. What you have with, and let me also do, aside from a cylinder, I'm also gonna do a sphere. So something like that. So if the light comes from here, since I'm right-handed, that means that the shadow is gonna be on this side. So you're gonna have a core shadow there, and this core shadow is gonna slowly dissipate there. And you also have a little bit of light coming around, because it's like a rounded shape. It sort of brings that light around here. So that side is gonna be a bit bright. And then with a sphere, like this is gonna be the lit side. Then you're gonna have your core shadow, which is the darkest, somewhere here. And then everything else is gonna be in like in lighter shadow or normal shadow. And you have the same thing again, because it's a rounded shape. It's gonna lead some of that light around it, but you might have a darker spot again here, where it is touching the ground, and you have the shadow, and you don't have, because light is bouncing everywhere, right? And you have some light bouncing back, but here you have less bounce. That's also called ambient occlusion. Now let's come back here and let's do some of the same thing. So I'm gonna take the selection, select the top. I'm gonna take this color here, go to my brush, and then I'm gonna nicely do this fade, go a bit lighter, there we go. And then on this side, select it again. I am gonna have a little bit of this color here, so bring it like this, and I'm gonna have a nice shadow there in the middle. I'll make my brush a bit smaller, there we go, and I'm going to make it even smaller. And then I said this is where we have our core shadow, and then you can go also a bit darker and make it smaller. And as you can see, I leave a little bit of bright area there on the side, and that is going to be the light that comes around. And you can go back to your brightness and then bring a little bit of that in there. And the same thing here. So I'm just gonna select this area. This is gonna be probably all in shadow. So just select this. I'm gonna make my brush large again. And I'm gonna give a little bit of light up there, but that's not necessary because this in general is in shadow. And then if we select this side, then you have to think where does light hit and where doesn't. So there's a little bit of bouncing down there, so you might have a bit of light there. So I'm gonna add a bit of shadow there and a bit more shadow on this side. So here you have a bit more shadow, and we can have some of this nice bright area there, make it even smaller, and you sort of have something like it. And if it's a shiny object, then you can go to a harder brush, make this a bit brighter, and just add something like that. And then you can also of course come back and just like we did before, go very bright and just make these highlights a bit less there. And you can also add a bit of a highlight here, something like that. Oh, hey Roducci, welcome. Hey Smith Deng, thank you very much. Thomas Perez, hi Robert, happy to see you, welcome. Who has already read Scott Robertson's book? I want to practice with exercise, but hard to practice. Yeah, well, you mostly just have to follow what he says there. It's not that hard. And then as well, here with the shadows, you can add something that looks a bit closer to a core shadow. It's just, I don't like that brush is too harsh for that. So I'm gonna take a softer airbrush, and that's that. So this is what you do there. And then if we do a sphere, like a sphere would be, where is my, there we go. There's a sphere. Let's fill it with, let's say, this color, right? Lock it down again. And now I go to my brush tool, I take the darks, and I said we go around here, right? So this is, soften it up a little bit. I don't want it to be too harsh. Make it smaller. Then you can come back a little bit for this core shadow that I was talking about. I like to go around a little bit like that. Now you can take also the bright area. This is gonna be more tapping, playing around with it a bit there. Let me take a brighter. Take this, go a bit darker. And I'm gonna come back to my core area. There you go. So a very, very rough sphere. That's what I would do. Hey Kupuli, welcome to the stream. And yeah, that's how I approach my shading. I hope that helps. I find the brew method to be plenty practice at the beginning. Oh yeah, you're talking about the Scott Robertson stuff. Yeah, yep. All right, let's go back to our nice white background and see what else needs to be added. I'm just gonna bring this down as well. We don't need to have that on a separate layer. And yeah, I'll leave that there as it is. Yeah, glad it helped, Manav. Glad it helped. Okay, let's add. I'll just add sort of like a pillow here. Let's say somebody likes sitting there as well. Something like that. Just popping in to say hi. Kim is on a mountain bike weekend, so I think we will watch this together when he's back. Oh, thanks, Kim. Okay. Thanks, Caroline. Very nice of you. And yeah, I hope he has a great... I'm very happy that he's doing so much mountain biking. Just a little bit envious, but mostly happy because I know how much fun mountain biking is. So yeah, he should be doing as much as he can. Cool. Matze, PI low merge confirmed. It's a bit too strong. I have to watch out not to make my lines too strong. But you know what? I start to feel like we're almost good. I'm gonna add a little bit of just dirt and oh yeah, I wanted to add some stuff into the shack. Let's do that quickly. Because I wanted to start coloring it, but maybe we can add a couple of things here. Shovels, maybe some sort of thing like that. Then we can have some shelves here with all sorts of things on it. Could you just make a quick product render also? Would be really thankful. I have videos. I have a bunch of videos with product renders though. I think that would be you can check those out. Like I did one, not somewhat longer time ago, but yeah, there should be plenty of them. This must be the most cutest subscriber couple saving up to watch your stream. Yeah, I agree. They are lovely people. And there's a breaker again, so let me drink some water while we take a quick break. Okay, there we go. Yes, he has loads of fun with his new toy. One day he would love to mountain bike together. Oh, I would love to do that. I have to visit him, or you guys, not just him, and then well, he has his own mountain bike, but I will probably rent one, and we'll definitely have some fun. Okay, I think that sort of solves our problem. There we go. I feel we need a couple of more things here. We could have some sacks of gravel and dirt and just earth in general. There we go. There we go. So this is our earth. Potgrond, the Dutch would say. Just so it's not so empty. I don't know what this is, but it's there. Oh, we could have, you know what you need? Water. So usually it's nice to have a tap or something. So we're gonna add a tap there. And then you can have a hose connected to it. There we go. There's our little hose. Oh, thank you very much, Manuel. Huh? It's interesting that link is not working for me for some reason. Oh, now it is. Oh, no, it's not anymore. Interesting. The rendering is my kryptonite. All right. I see people are having issues with the rendering. Let me finish this, and then we can do a little bit of more rendering. Even though we had plenty of rendering videos. I'm not the biggest fan of rendering, but it is something that is good to know. I'm gonna add just sort of like a little screen there, because why not? Looking forward to see the whole stream later. Good evening, and thank you for joining even for a little bit, Caroline. Okay, let's save this. Oh yeah, the fan inspired by nature. Yeah. I don't know why I can't open that link. It's very weird, but good that you shared that. Okay, I'll just open this in Photoshop. And close it here, I guess. Let's see what Photoshop does, and just drag it in here. Boop. There we go. Let's run it through our little... Oof. Yeah, I forgot about that part. So let's zoom in, deselect this, that, and 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 that. Okay, those are all not necessary. And that, and that. And of course that, and that. And what else? That, and that. Okay. And this, and that, and that, and that. Okay, let's run through. There, that's a bit better. I'm gonna add... There we go. Now we have a colored background, so we see better the parts that we can get rid of. Lines, lies. It's lies, guys. It's all lies. And can I merge this down? Yes, I feel like I can. Okay, let's see what else can we take away. I'm not sure which video is with ice cream on top. I imagine it's not mine. These can go away. That can go away. Let's see. This white is this is actually not the most interesting part of. You know what? Let me do this in my own time, because this is gonna be a little bit thing, and then we do a rendering for you guys. Quick, throw some products into the chat that I should sketch, and then we're gonna try and do that. We'll do a quick product sketch, and then we do the quicker even rendering. Let's see what you guys come up with for products, and then we'll do that. In the meantime, I'll cut a little bit here more while we wait. Let's see. Fitness machine. Okay, by products I meant actual products that I will render, something quick and easy, but I see that's not gonna happen. Fitness machines for octopus. Really? I would be curious what that looks like. Software as a service product. Thank you, Matsu. That's very helpful. Camera. Okay, that was the first usable, so we're just gonna do the camera. Let me also just look up camera just to be sure. It's we're gonna go something like that. Like, even it's funny because I feel like these sort of cameras were bought by everybody for a while, and then as smartphones had better and better cameras on them, they sort of stopped being like produced. So we'd have something like this in the front, and we would have that thing there. Let's round this a little bit. Early digital cameras get a revival by hipster photographers as the new film photography. Is that a thing? Like, is that really happening? I mean, I feel like early digital cameras were quite, well, not that they were horrible, but compared to the megapixels and anything that you got out of them, I can't imagine that it's worth using them for anything. I would rather just go full hipster and like use a proper old school camera with film, like Leica or what are those proper good quality old cameras. Photoshop. Why Photoshop? Okay, let me save. Camera for render. I don't know why Photoshop does this to me. There we go. And I know like these have sort of like a pop-up mechanism. Jesus Christ, a mosquito just landed on my nose. Darn these things. Yeah, Bogdan, my friend, I don't know what latency my stream has for you, but that mug suggestion came super late. Okay. Let's add some buttons here. People with cameras, don't get mad. I have no idea what sort of buttons there are. I just know that there's always a couple of buttons, some here, some there. And then here you usually have sort of like a grip with a little bit of texture, right? Something like that. Have you tried Affinity? Supposedly more stable, but still less feature-rich than Photoshop. Yeah, I mean, I have also a Artsturio Pro, which I would rather do that than Affinity. It's just Photoshop. I'm quite used to it. I don't think I'm gonna switch away from it soon, or at least anytime soon. Okay, this should be enough. Let's give it the old fill it with white treatment. Okay, this one can be a bit grayer. Nope, wrong layer. There we go. We're gonna lock this layer. So I just do the same thing. I'm gonna go with black and white to keep it simpler. So I'm just gonna give it a base gray gradient, and now I'm gonna start selecting the faces. So I know that this area here will be the darker area, and probably not this. Actually, let me just take out this whole part here, and this one I can add back because I feel like that could go back there. And then here we're gonna add this area. I hear the mosquito like going crazy around me. Okay, something like that. Now I'm gonna take can I Control Shift? Something also other about Photoshop that I hate every time I set this up. So if we go to keyboard shortcuts, I go to selection and I set this up a million times and Photoshop just loves to forget this. So I go to modify and not modify, oh, transform selection. I set this up every time to Control Alt Shift and 0. Jesus, go away, mosquito. Okay, guys, I need to close the windows. There we go. The mosquito ain't real, man. It's only in your head. I wish it was. Now, so I have my selection, Control Alt 0. There we go, finally. And now I just move it here, rotate it a bit, and just push it into position where I need it. Which, if you press Shift, you can move the individual things, and then just Enter. And I'm just gonna do this. And we can also actually do, give me a second. I want to do something a bit more tricky. Just take away this part, and now we can go a little bit darker there. Something like that. And now you can also come back with a little bit of highlight. Something like that. And that sort of gives you this camera feel. We can also do something like this. There we go. Now I'm gonna take my soft round brush and I want to equal out this or make this thing a little bit rounded. Oh, it doesn't work, I don't like it. We'll leave it as it is for now. We'll come back later to that. Now, something that I didn't do here properly is just select. I'm in the dark, no, I'm still fine. You guys can see me. This also needs a treatment of grays. I'm gonna add a bit here as well. Next mosquito. He's gonna suck but quick. Draw an enemy. You can go for an anti-mosquito product right about now. Yeah, that would have been a good thing for me to draw. Yeah, and I left this area here empty because here we have the whole cylinder sort of rendering thing that I was talking about coming into effect. So I take my big soft round brush. I'll take the darkest area and I do a little bit there as well, and then this should be good. We can come back later with a bit of white. I can actually come back here and take this gray and my gradient tool. There we go. I feel now I can see that this is just not dark enough for my liking. So I'm gonna come back in here and darken this area up a little bit more. Yeah, I like it already more. And then I would like to add a little bit more darkness to this here part as well. Something like that. And we can make this a bit stronger. Let's see what else. Now draw a cage around it. Why would I draw a cage around it? All right. We are very okay with religion, but I don't care about people pushing their religion on other people. So please go away, bot. There we go, a bit of darkness there as well, something like that. And actually, I feel like if we go on the top area, we can darken this area just a little bit. So I'm going to take this and do something like that. And now we can come back with a white and see what it would look like if we have a bit of a play with the white there. And I'm going to take some of this gray, GG, and apply it on the top of our, what do you call it in English? I know like we just call it blitz, at least from German, because it pops up and it makes a blitz, but I have no idea what you would call this in English. So there, oh, white. There would be a bit of white there. Matsubob, I'm expecting. Flash, of course, yes, flash. I did remember it a bit late. I don't know what a camera cage is. Artem HB, welcome to the stream. I can turn on a bit of light so you guys don't confuse me with a ghost. Alright, let's skip this. So we're gonna have more highlight here, more highlight there. This is a good hot drum and bass. I like this. With backlight there. And I'm just gonna use a bit of, too much. We can also bring a little bit of this rim whiteness in there, and we can make a selection and take our soft round brush and just do 1 or 2 swipes. There we go. And it gives you a nice little shine there. Here we could do the same thing. As I said, everything that's a little bit rounded sort of brings light around. So I'm not going to take a white one, but I'm going to take a lighter gray and just gonna gently touch it there once or twice. And that's already enough for what we need. How about underwater housing so cute anime girls in bikinis can use it to take pictures at the beach? We're not drawing products, it's about rendering, so I don't know how that's gonna help with rendering. I like how clear Sugbert is on the camera. Well, at least his 2 eyes are very clear on the camera. Okay, let me make this a little bit. I'm gonna add 1 more layer of darkness here. Yeah, that works better for me. And I would like to darken up our lens as well. So just a bit more here and a little bit from that direction as well. And I like that. Of course, same thing here. So we have a thickness to this button, so it would make sense to just do a bit of rendering there, and then once more a bit here. So as you can see, I mostly work with a gradient tool. Let's take this. This has a bit of depth, so we can give a little bit of depth with it with our gray, and we can go back to white and even emphasize that by having a white outline there, something like that. Same here. I'm just gonna draw over this a little bit. Almost like painting a little bit. That would be our bottom. Ajani Verma, I just got into my college at the drawing teacher told us to draw 50 products drawing daily for practice, but I'm bad in perspective drawing. Please give me some suggestions. Just draw 50 products. If your perspective is bad, try to see where it's bad. But this is like the exercise that he gave you is for you to build up muscle memory for different products. I think if you want to also improve your perspective, try drawing the same product as many times as you can, but then from different perspectives. Like if you have the camera from here, like what I would do is just try to draw it from a different angle, which of course for me means that I'm gonna do a quick box setup for it so I can draw it nicer in perspective and then work on it. And if you're drawing traditionally, you do this with a marker, just set it up, and then you know this is where your flash is. Thank you, chat, for teaching me flash. And then this is where your, what are these? Lenses are. And then there's your two buttons. And then you do it again. And now you do it from a slightly different perspective again. You can try and do it a little bit distorted if you want to challenge yourself. Let's see. You can make it the brush a little bit thicker. And this would be the area where we hold it. So something like that. And then that would be our, well, it could, you could make it a little bit thicker as well, because I think I made it a bit thicker in the first drawing. And of course, don't forget about the whole flash business that would be there. And then here you have your, let's make sure that I draw them somewhat equally. Your two buttons. Wow, what's this? What's this Photoshop? What's this? Okay, let's save again and let's reopen again. I see we're just not getting anywhere with Photoshop today. Yeah, and then you can also turn it, of course. What would it look from behind? Same idea, you have your holding on area. You can maybe see something from the lenses, but probably not too much. And then this would be your thing, and then of course you can add your big screen, and then you have different buttons here with which you can do different things. And you put in as much detail as you want, of course. I'm not gonna put in too much detail, but that's what I would recommend you do. Or the gruesome practice of drawing 250 boxes. Yeah, that sounds good to me as well. Everything that gets you used to drawing as much as you can from different perspectives. I feel like we can lighten this up a little bit even more, so I'm gonna do that. There we go. And this could be a little bit darker. There we go, I like that. And yeah, that's pretty much what I would do. If we take away the lines, it's still pretty clear what we have there. So that's usually a good check for yourself to see if how your rendering is working out. Any other questions? Because if not, I will slowly call it a day. But if there are any other ones, an old school typewriter. You know what, I like that. Let's draw that. I mean, let me see what I can do without reference first. And then we put in a reference as well. Let's see how far I get without reference. I know there's something like this. I'll just do a very rough outline first, and then I'll look up some reference. Because I know there's some cool, more rounded shapes, and I want to go something with that. Old school typewriter. Ah, this is what I wanted, like this really old school one. Yeah. Okay, one back. Actually, it's not that bad. I could make it a little bit thicker. The only thing with typewriters, if you're drawing typewriters, is the old school ones have. You could cheat. Okay, so if you're digital, let's do a little bit of cheating. I am going to try and draw a key that is somewhat in perspective, something like this, and I'm just gonna. Ooh, it's on the same layer. So look, what I'm gonna do is place it on a different layer, select everything on the layer, basically that, and then keep on moving it. We're still on the same layer, yes? So I'm just duplicating the keys or buttons, keys on the keyboard that I have. Something like this. Okay. Deselect. Now I'm duplicating the whole layer like that, and I'm duplicating the bottom layer again up there, and that's 3 rows. I think we could have another row. Oh no, that's the wrong one. This one, we need this one. Just move it up there. They're all connected, and now what we could do is a layer beneath that, and just something like this. And you can do the same thing here actually. Just make a selection and move it a couple of times like that. And I know to erase everything that gets in touch with another button. That is not cheating, just using, it is, of course it is using the tool, of course it is. But you can't do this traditionally, so that's the whole thing. Let me see if we can do the duplicating trick here as well, at least like this. Actually, I just need these two, okay. So I'm gonna deselect, oh Jesus, I'm pressing all the buttons but the one that are, I am sorry. There we go. And we just need sort of the feeling that we have these things, and that's already enough. And now the rest, looking at it, is here, and I'll give it a little bit of tilt. Actually merge, now I can merge everything together, since I don't want to work on that area no more, like that. Old school my ass. I used an IBM Electric for all my paper in college. We didn't have those fancy word processor putters when I was in college. I mean, my mom was working as a accountant. That's the better word. And they had these. So yeah, I don't know how old school or not old school it is, but I know. And I even, well, not me, but my mom was working a lot on these. Actually, I put that in there, but I can take it away as well. So this is where the paper is. This is where the thing goes around the paper. I know we have some sort of this thing here, which makes something, I don't remember exactly what that one made. And then we had this rail here, and we were hitting there in the center. And then you had all the letters there. Let's take a quick break and then we'll continue. Oh, move those neck muscles. I can make this a little bit thinner as well. We don't need to have super thick brush. And then these would be all the mechanical letters, and then as you press them, they would go up and hit the paper with the ink on it. Again, we don't need to draw the whole thing, just suggesting it is already more than enough. There we go. And that's where we have an old school mechanical typewriter. It's a bit small. I should have drawn it a bit bigger, but that's fine. That was fun. Okay, let's do one more and then we'll call it a night. Shout out some things. I'm gonna draw a little bit more on this little camera. You guys put some things into the chat, and then let's see what we can, well, what I feel like drawing. It's been a while since I drew products, so I do enjoy this quite a bit. Alex, what do you mean quit calling it old school? What would you call it? Like, it's one of the first. Is this new school for you, Gru? Or Ru, sorry. Is this new school? It doesn't look new school to me at all. Everything that's not electric is old school. Okay, carpenter tool, fancy lighter, stapler. I like stapler. I don't think I ever drew a stapler. I knew I drew lighters. Carpenter, I mean, I drew tools that are close to carpenter tools, but I never drew a stapler. Okay, stapler. Let's see. Okay, let's go for a rounded stapler, just because it's a little bit harder. Tip, 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 tip. Okay, round stapler it is. Like, how would it be electric? You can see the things. Also, with the opportunity of you being live, I wanted to say your content is great. And oh, thank you very much, Pavel. I appreciate that. Stapler that wants to make you staple things. Well, I feel like most staplers make you want to do that. Stapler. Jesus Christ, I'm getting... Okay, there we go, there we go. I have a couple ones that I like. Electric stapler. I like that. Okay, stapler. Let's have fun. So basically, stapler is quite rectangular, which works for me, but we do want to make it a little bit non-rectangular. So we have this part here, right? And then we have the pivot area here, and then we have this sort of housing here, and we have, this is where the whole stapling part is happening. Actually, I could make it a bit more angled, right? Something like this, and then this will be stapling area, and this is where it hits. And then this one now I can make nice and rounded, something that fits. Oh look, I like that. So we round this a little bit. And we bring it this way. And before I do that, let me erase everything. I don't need that anymore. But what I need, I'm gonna make it nice and round like this. And there we go. And now I can take this away again and do this part. That's semi nice and rounded, I hope. A hydraulic amplified power stapler. All right, guys. All right. Look at the views. Makes me want to staple. Okay. And these usually are you have that little opening, right? And that's where all your little staple thingies go in. And then this has a thickness to it. So let's make it a bit thicker. Let me make this a bit thicker as well. Bit of a rounding there. Let's stick with correct perspective, that's okay. What we're gonna do is round these corners as well. There we go. I like that sticks a bit out there. And this sort of, you have these two holes, right? Yeah, something like that, that goes, the staple itself goes in there. Okay, now let me reinforce this a little bit. Comes down there. And then goes around there. Am I correct? I think so, yeah. This should be like, there we go. That feels a little bit better. I think that something like that. You know what? This could be a little bit thicker. I feel it's just a little bit too thin there. As I always say, don't be afraid to acknowledge your mistakes and try to fix it as much as you can. There we go. That is a stapler right there. Draw blenders so cute anime girls in bikinis can make dakiris while sitting on the balcony working on their fans. Tans. Blender is also relatively easy. You draw the box or rectangle or whatever you want to call it for the perspective. Then you have, like, technically a box or rectangle or whatever you want to call it for the bottom of the blender. And then you sort of have this rounded area here, and this is where the blender will connect. And I'm gonna draw a center axis area, and then you have the top of it here. And then we make this a little bit bigger as well. Those top ellipses are poop. Guys, why didn't you say anything? So disappointed in you. When you see that I'm drawing poop ellipses, you have to tell me. So this sort of tapers out there, and I need to make better ellipses. There we go, that's much better. See? This is all you had to say. It's Robert, your ellipse was poop. Can you make a new one, please, that is not poop? And then I'll make a new one that is less poop. I'm not guaranteeing that it's not poop, but it's definitely less poop. Okay, quick break. I'm worried about the specifics of... yeah, I feel like Ru has been losing it a little bit lately. Like he has some sort of anime girl withdrawal or something that is... it is a little bit concerning, I must say. I don't know, man. Okay, we need a handle for our blender thing here, which can go something like that. Right there. Okay. Pop, pop. Pop, pop. And then we need a little bit of thickness to this plexiglassy thingy majiggy. And then we of course make things a little bit thicker with dark lines. And then we sort of don't care if there's a whole bunch of lines intersecting or not. And then there is our blending thing. And I'm just gonna make the lines here a little bit thicker as well. What we can do is actually bring everything a little bit to the front and give this surface like that. Just like that. And then we can have the whole buttons and whatnot here. So you would have maybe a turny dial-y thing, and then you would have two buttons here, and we would have a small display here that shows something there, and then maybe two more buttons there. There we go. So Ru can have the Kiris with this one. I definitely have to go to sleep. All the ramble about the ellipses is also concerning. Apocalypse TM, I like that. Ah, wait, I have an idea. Let me see if anybody can Yeah. We will give a shining gold star to anybody who will get the reference. How about that? Let's see who are the nerds in the chat. Might be also that I drew it incorrectly. God of War would be correct, but no. Think comic books. I know it's the same sign, but not 40K, not Ultramarines. Here, let me. I'll try and draw a quick sketch from behind of the person who uses it. So it usually stands something like this. And he can do, let me see if I, his head shape is also something like that, so keep that in mind. And he can, Green Lantern is getting closer, very close. He does something like this with his eyes. No. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so this is usually the dark side has it somewhere there, and dark side is from Apocalypse, of course. So this is why this is the Apocalypse TM. All right, we drew a whole bunch of nonsense on this. This is a good live stream page. Okay. I feel like we can call it a night here. I had a whole bunch of fun, and I started losing it towards the end. So that's good. Everybody, thank you very much for joining my stream. I hope to see you next time around as well. Bye-bye.